work, John. You know, I can't think of a higher compliment to pay a teenager than to say you handled the silences beautifully. You held us in the palm of your hand during that transition back to the A section, and that's not easy to do. So congratulations, it's really beautiful artistry and wonderful to hear. So, what is an elegy? I'll let you talk into the mic.
Is it a sad or sorrowful song?
Yeah, it is a very sad and sorrowful song, and it's often something that may be given at a funeral. So it's somebody reflecting on someone they've lost. So in this particular piece, I think it's full of anguish, it's full of despair, but what is the middle section?
Peaceful?
It's more, he said it's more peaceful. I think it absolutely is. And the way I hear this middle section, and it's not to say this is the only way to hear it, everybody can interpret the piece the way they hear it, but I feel like it's a little more nostalgic, because often, have you lost anyone close to you or lost a pet or something that made you really sad?
Yeah, I lost a pet a few years ago.
So after you lose someone you love or lose a pet you love, don't you remember sitting there thinking about all the great times you had with them? I feel like that's what this middle section is. I feel like this is Rachmaninoff taking a step back and maybe almost getting stuck in a daydream, because we have all this this sort of hazy, dreamlike quality in the right hand, and then this absolutely beautiful melody in the left hand that just melts your heart. So to me, this is almost like him imagining getting a hug from this person one more time, or having the chance to hear this person speak to them one more time. And when I approach this piece, I don't take the middle section maybe quite as fast as you are, and I keep it a little bit more inward, so that we have more contrast to these beautifully expressive, anguished outbursts at the fortissimo, one, the climax of the A section. So could we try setting that up? Maybe start from somewhere near the end of the A, and then when you get to the B section, keep that image in mind, and let's see what kind of a sound you find. I'm going to start maybe somewhere around in here. Would that be good? When you see a quarter note, can you think slow? Because, and we'll talk about this a little bit in the A section in a second, but almost feel like all of these places where you have the quarter notes, you're resisting moving ahead, and see how that sounds to you. What did you think?
It sounds funny, I think.
To me, it has a little bit more character that relates to the A section. It makes me tear up a little bit. And I think that's what this section should do. Now, why would I suggest that those quarter notes feel slow in your hand? He said if it sounds rushed, it doesn't sound nostalgic, and you're right. The other thing is it's a melody that I think ultimately is sung. And to sing a lot of these intervals, it's easier to play those intervals than it is to sing those intervals. So when I'm practicing, I like to practice singing the melody and see what kind of timing it takes me to sing that interval expressively, and then translate that onto the keyboard. So that often, as we have a sixth, a fourth, these are intervals that need a little bit bit of space. And the other thing I like to keep in mind is when the character is a little bit more stately, or in this case, nostalgic, when you're in that kind of mood, do you want to go running? No, we tend to have our heart rate's a little bit slower. We tend to be a little more relaxed, and I think we want to capture that. Now, I want to go back to the A section, and I want to start at the climax, because you have a lot of power in your playing already, but I think there's even more in there. So are you willing to try something that may be a little uncomfortable, and I promise nobody in this room will talk about it after we leave? Okay, so put your head right here. I know, sorry. Now, actually, sit up. I won't make you do this while you scoot the bench back just a little, because you're a little bit too close, I think. All right, now, head. Now, let your arms just dangle by your side. Now, especially feel the freedom in the shoulder joints, and let your arms just swing a little bit. Do they feel really heavy? They should. Now, can you imagine you've got little pieces of lead in your fingertips, and the gravity is just pulling all of the weight of your arm down towards the ground? Now, I'm going to kind of swing them from the back, especially right arm. Feel that dead weight? Now, I'm going to keep swinging your arm, and as I do, I want you to sit up really slowly. Do you feel how you're wanting to lock your shoulder as you sit up? Yeah, so try to keep that freedom. Come on, there you go, there you go. Now, does your arm feel heavier than it did before? It should. Now, can I do something with your arm? All right, so we're gonna go around. We're just gonna flop. And flop. It's the easiest thing, but the hardest thing ever. Now, your turn to do it without me. Terrific. Yep, that's what we need to really play loudly. So can we now come to the keyboard, and let's just find this first chord. So you've got to lift and find that feeling of dead weight, and then just drop. Now that sounded like your arm weighed about 10 pounds. Can it sound like your arm weighs about 75 pounds? You're getting there. Now, do you feel, hang on a second, feel how your elbow's tight? So when your wrist is tense, you're only getting the weight from here forward. When your elbow's tense, you're only getting the weight from here forward, and when your shoulder's tense, we're only getting the weight from here. So we want all of these joints to be free so that gravity can help us and assist us with getting that sound that we want, and it'll help it be round without it being forced. There. Let's do that again. And let's drop on the next one. But was that as round? Let's do it one more time to the G flat one. Now, can you match my sound? Let's do it together. Ready? Yep, and look at my preparation. Yeah. See how I'm going much higher from the keys? Yeah. There you go. Now the next one, lift and drop. And lift and drop. Good. Let's do it one more time, and this time I'm going to put my hand underneath your arm. Now, can you rest on my finger? You're not resting yet. You're still holding it up. There you go. We have this notion we have to hold our arms up to play the piano, but you really don't. So feel that dead weight. Now, find the chord and drop. Now without me. Yes! Now the next one. Now the next one. And now let's add pedal and do the same three. So find your dead weight, drop, and drop, and drop. Now, can we do the same thing with these bass octaves? Let's do it first with the A. So find your dead weight and drop into the A. But see how your wrist was tight? So that limited your sound. Okay, go higher. There, now it's getting rounder. Now can you relax your elbow a little bit more? Now let's do the B flat. With the right hand. So we're just going to do octaves with the melody. So we're going to leave out all those inner eights. At your wrist. There you go. free fall. And now the B flat. Yeah. Drop, 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 drop. F. Good. So when I play a chord, I think about lifting and dropping from back here. When I play, it looks like I'm using my wrist because my wrist is loose and following, but the motion's really coming from here. Can we try that again? And I'm going to keep my finger here to remind you to lift my finger to prepare. Lift my finger, lift my finger, lift my finger. Feel the difference? Do it one more time. Lift my finger on each one of them. There you go. Keep lifting it. Keep lifting it. Keep lifting it. Lift. Lift. So when you're doing the legato ones, you only have to play one note legato in a chord for it to sound legato. So if you can release those bottom notes to help you stay a little looser. Relax, release your thumb, release your thumb. Release, release, release. But see how you're wanting to hold that middle note too, and you actually don't have to. It's still going to sound. See how I'm approaching it? Release, release, release. Yes, and your voicing just got better too. Now can we try that with pedal, and let's add in the other notes in the left hand. So remember, lifting from here. Keep lifting my finger. Keep singing. Good. University. Now, when I see a quintuplet, I like to think hippopotamus, university, any other 5-syllable word, because we all tend to want to rush them. And if you're sad, are you going to want to rush? No, again, we're not in running mode when we're sad. So can we start from here, and when you get there, can you say university with me as you play it? University. Good. Hear the difference? It just helps you pace it, because remember, what is rhythm based in? Speech. So rhythm is music's way of speech being interpreted. I played a piece last night by Liszt, the Petrarch 104, and to me, music is rhetoric, and that piece in particular is full of musical rhetoric, and rhetoric is speech, right? So this elegy, I think, is also full of moments that are very speech-like in the rhythm, and I would encourage you, as you're practicing it, to make up words, especially if anywhere you have triplets, or places like the quintuplet where we just added university, you can add more meaningful words. It doesn't have to be silly like university, but since we're in a university setting right now, it just made sense. But it will keep you from rushing through those moments that we really want to feel as weighty and heavy in our soul as possible. Because the more space you give us in a piece like this, the more of an emotional journey you're going to take us on. Any questions for me? No, beautiful work, congratulations.